Hey y'all, it's Sherry G. I'm back. I have some more commentary on Love and Marriage Huntsville. This Saturday's episode, or this past Saturday's episode, like I said before, I enjoyed the episode. I found it to be good television, and I also found it to be very much revelatory. So, anyway, the scene that I want to talk about in this video is the little sit down between Nell Fletcher and Kimmi. So, in this scene, Kimmi invited Nell Fletcher over because she wanted to talk to her about or let her know that they actually had that town hall meeting that they were supposed to have that Nell Fletcher was invited to by Kimmi. But Kimmi decided not to have Nell present after all. So she had this little sit down with her to kind of get it out there, to tell her, before word out on the street got back to her. Because, according to Kimmi, Huntsville is small. So, anyway, y'all, looking at this particular scene, I'm just not feeling Kimmi. I mean, she's been doing little things on the side that kind of had me questioning her. Like when the ladies were all together and they were talking about, everything that happened at the Black Business Expo over at at Tiffany's baby introduction thingy. She was the one who actually started the whole conundrum. She was the one who brought up that $100. And I guess Tisha thought the other lady started it when it was actually Kimmi. And Kimmi never admitted that, I was the one who brought it up. And she didn't do that. To me, like she moves sideways. Some people call her a snake, actually. And yeah, I can see where they're coming from because she's starting to really show that side of her that I just really don't like. And so she is a person that I just wouldn't trust if she was someone that I knew based on what I see, on the television. Now, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and drop some audio of that particular sit down scene and give my commentary on it. Before I do, keep in mind that the views I express, it's all alleged, everything's of opinion, and all that jazz. In the meantime, go ahead and like this video, hang tight, and I'll be back with my commentary.
So I've asked Miss Nell to come over to the office and visit. I just want to kind of touch base with her in regards to us having the business meeting. Huntsville is a small little town, and so I don't want word to get back to her that we had this meeting and she was once again not invited. So I want her to hear it from me as to why, before she hears it from anybody else. Have you a sit down? Are you good? You hot? You need any water or anything?
Actually, I'm good.
How you been?
I've been doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing good. What you been up to?
Oh, nothing.
I haven't seen you since the baby Ace reveal.
Yeah, just working.
It's working?
Yeah.
Do you feel like we kind of got everything kind of squared away with everybody? Mainly you and Tisha.
I think we're okay, but I'm not for sure.
Well, I wanted to make sure that we were okay.
Okay.
And that's why I invited you, because, Huntsville is this big. Mm-hmm. And you remember when we were at Baby Ace reveal, and I was suggesting like a town hall of sort with all of the vendors that had come to the Black Expo to maybe help Tisha and Marceau see like the bigger picture of people's opinions of how the actual expo turned out. And so we had that meeting. So even though I know that y'all felt a way about not getting the invitation to come to the event, I didn't really think that particular meeting would hold value because I wanted feedback from people who actually attended and had an opinion of things that turned out pretty good, didn't turn out so good, could have been better. Okay. My goal wasn't for people to come and complain about whatever issue had happened with the first expo. It was supposed to be.
And I want to complain. I want to listen. it's like I wasn't coming to rehash anything.
So I'm
The
asking,
thing I asked to begin with more so intentional was we've been in North Huntsville longer than any of you all.
what's that mean?
I just felt like we should have been there. I still don't think you should have made that call for me.
To come to the meeting?
Right.
But it was my meeting.
You said the meeting that you held, you invited me to the meeting, but then at the same time, you don't even see how I would bring any value or anything to the meeting. But why even invite me to the meeting to begin with?
The fact that you and Tisha already had an exception to the first invitation. In my brain, I felt like, well, let's not leave them out again because apparently they're going to feel away. And the more I thought about it, the more I resolved to myself that I wanted to talk to people that were going to try to give feedback about the actual event.
I can respect that. I don't have to agree. We can disagree.
That's fine.
But I can respect that, like you said, it was your event. And there's nothing I can do about that. You invited me here. I thank you for that. And I'm grateful for that.
Okay, y'all. So that was Kimmi and Nell Fletcher. Like I said, I don't know, y'all. I don't know about Kimmi. This particular scene really irked me and has me looking at Kimmi upside her head, honestly. I just feel like there's just so many things in this particular scene that to me points out that Kimmi can't be trusted. Again, this is my opinion, and that she moves sideways. You know, people have been alluding to the fact that she's a snake, and you know, there were times when I was feeling like, well, maybe not. Maybe she's going to be okay. And then there's other times when I'm just like looking at her. So I've been standing on shaky ground when it comes to Kimmi. But I feel like this particular scene kind of did it for me, if you will. I just really feel like she is someone that can't be trusted. Like she is loyal to the Scotts, okay? In particular, Tisha. One of the things that, you know, when Kimmi started off, she said that she wanted to have this meeting with Nell because Huntsville is such a small city and she didn't want word to get back to her that they had the town hall meeting without, in fact, inviting her. I have an issue with that because I don't feel like, I mean, who in Huntsville is going to go up to Nell and say, look, your group got together and, you know, they had this town hall. If, you know, they didn't invite you, blase, blase. There's only a couple of people that would go back to her and tell her that, and that would be the castmates, right? Namely, it would either be Martell talking to Chris. When he was talking to Chris, he would bring it up, or it would be Melody, in my opinion. And Kimmi knows that. It wouldn't be anyone else. Most likely, probably Melody, right? In my opinion. So anyway, that had me looking at her kind of sideways. And then when Nell shows up, she automatically, the first thing she asks her about is, you know, how is your friendship with Tisha? And I'm thinking, what is that all about? Like, where are you coming from with this? And what does this have to do with this particular meeting? Why you called her here or the town hall? And then after listening to it a couple of times, you know, I started feeling like this is the underlying cause for Nell not being at that meeting. I feel like Kimmi is kind of like protecting Tisha. I guess you could say she knows that Nell and Tisha are on rocky ground, right? She knows how everything went with them. The last time the ladies were together, it just didn't go that well. And I'm kind of feeling like Tisha didn't want Nell at that meeting. I could be wrong, but that's my opinion. And that is the main reason why Kimmi didn't invite her. Now, granted, Kimmi did say that she had some time to think about it, and after thinking about it, she decided that this particular meeting wouldn't be a good meeting to invite people who were not in attendance. And I get that, except was Courtney Bill in attendance? Y'all, he wasn't there either. I mean, if I recall, he actually went to New York because he had to run products for his wife, right? He had to run products for Canvas Beauty. So I actually think he went to New York. So why was he at the meeting? Now, granted, Stormy could have invited him herself. She could have asked him to go with her because we know she was poking the bear, right? She was poking at Marcel at this particular meeting. And we know that Courtney's not going to let Marcel just talk any kind of way to his wife without taking up for her. So yeah, I believe, that could be the case. And let's just say that is the case. Let's just go ahead and say that's the case. Courtney showed up because Stormy invited him, not that Kimmi necessarily invited him to the town hall because, like you said, he wasn't in attendance. And let's just say that she did get this notion, and it had nothing to do with Tisha, but she did get this notion. She sat back and thought it's not really a good idea to invite people who weren't in attendance because any input that they could give wouldn't be authentic, most likely, as far as what could go better, in comparison to what had already happened because they were not there to witness it. So I get that. I understand that. And I respect that. Except I don't agree with how Kimmi handled it, if that is truly the case. In my opinion, once she got that notion, she could have picked up the phone, or should have picked up the phone and contacted Nell then and let her know that, hey, I know I told you that we were going to pick a date and a time and that we were going to get together and discuss the Black Expo event and go over, some of the things that happened that shouldn't have happened, some of the things that went well, some of the things, blase, all that jazz. But she didn't. She waited until after the meeting. And I feel like she probably started thinking, oh my God, now Mel's going to go back and she's going to tell Nell. And then I'm going to have to deal with Nell. I just really don't want to have to go through all of that with her because I know I promised that she would get an invite and she didn't. As a matter of fact, in this particular little sit down with Nell and Kimmi, Nell had to remind Kimmi that you did invite me the first time. So now if you're saying, well, you didn't want me there, well, we've been here 30 years, blase. I'm paraphrasing, of course. But Kimmi got on my nerves again because when Nell said, well, we've been in Huntsville for 30 years, then Kimmi throws out, and what does that mean? Kimmi, you know good and well what that means. And so that just really irked me, that how dismissive Kimmi was of Nell. She knows what that means. We've been here 30 years. We've been in business 29 years. We have a lot of input. Y'all, I'm just really starting to look at Kimmi all side-eyed now. I'm, like this particular scene just did it for me. I mean, she's just, in my opinion, she is a Scot through and through. It's just like the Scot blood has been transformed into her veins or something. I don't know, y'all. Or maybe she's just putting on, I don't know. But right now, I don't trust Kimmi. So anyway, y'all, get down in the comments section and let me know how you feel about this particular scene. If you haven't done so, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. I will be back. Until then, ciao.